Hey Tingman fam, it's that time of the year where I talk big stuff to do with Christmas and faith, but I mean, it's also real stuff because it has to do with you and with me. Of course, this won't be a Tingman video without cubes, so throughout this short video, I'm going to attempt to solve 5 Christmas tree Rubik's Cubes while I attempt to answer a huge question. Why do you matter? I remember as a young kid in Singapore, sitting in a school assembly in a sea of like 1,000 students, wondering, how am I different from anyone else here? Like, if I wasn't here, nothing would be really different, right? Our teachers were always telling us, the choices you make matter. Okay, but do I matter? Do any of us really matter? Some might say, well, of course we do. We live in a society where each person affects everyone else. And so your life will contribute to that, to increase or decrease our collective happiness and safety and well-being. But you see the problem in that, right? It means that my value only lies in what I do and what I can give. Take all those things away and I, on my own, I don't actually matter. I mean, we can pretend we matter. Life seems to work better that way, but we don't actually. And I want to say that's one of the biggest lies we've been sold. And I know that because of Christmas. Let me explain. You'll just notice that the box comes with like a little hangy thing because you're meant to string it through and then hang it on a Christmas tree. Look, it's so cool. You'd be forgiven for thinking that Christmas is a bit confusing. An old man in a red suit. Wait, I've got props. Yeah, let's go. Flying reindeer, candy canes, lights. There are fun reasons why this has come to define this season, mostly because of traditions, but peel all that back and you get a really unusual origin story. And that story is that around 2,000 years ago, a young couple in the most unexpected and humble circumstances had a child who ended up being God himself. It's a crazy claim. Like, God, what are you thinking? If you want to help us and make things better, like, great, but why not just click your fingers and fix things? Like, why become one of us? Doesn't God know how frustrating it is to be human? We have bodies that break. We have hearts that break. I mean, there are joys in life, of course, but there is loss and there is pain. Such pain. Why would Jesus want to experience any of that unless that was the point? It's easy for me to sit here and go into a if I were God hypothetical spiral, but I think a better question is, if God actually did this, what does that mean? If Jesus actually became a human, what does it say about us? I think it says 2 very clear things. First, we needed help, and second, God chose to help us because we mattered to him. In God's word to us, the Bible, there's a fascinating part that says, but when the set time had fully come, God sent his son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. Galatians chapter 4, verse 4 to 5. Did you hear it? It matters that God became human because it means that humans matter to God. Christmas, that little baby Jesus wrapped in cloth, is proof that God cares. He didn't have to identify with us. He didn't have to rescue us, but he did. Our human experience, joys and pains, the ups and downs of life, Jesus went through it all. But also the brokenness of humanity, the collective devastating impact of people rejecting God and endlessly trying to live life their own way. Jesus had to experience that curse as well. And then, like we just read in the Bible, Jesus absorbs that curse so that we who were once lost can now say that we're found. The orphans have been adopted. There is a difference between hoping that you matter and knowing that you matter. The Christmas story shows that you are not just a number, a statistic. You are not just another student or worker or little speck in the sea of humanity that no one needed to be around and no one would really miss when you're gone. No, you matter so much to God. Even if you have nothing to offer, or you've done some really bad things, or no one thinks you have value, God does. And nothing can change that. There is no one like Jesus, no story, no life like his. And I want to say, if you don't already know him, go find out more. Learn about Jesus, read about him in the Bible, go to a loving church that represents him well, and you will see through his Christmas birth, his life, his death, and his resurrection, how much he loves you and how different life will be, how much better life will be when you follow him. Because you, even before you did anything, even before you took your first breath, you mattered to him. And if you made it here to the end, thank you. As your reward, behold, 5 solved Rubik's Christmas trees. Woohoo! That's why they call me Ting Man, because I be tingle belling all the way. Yeah, that sounded way better in my head. Well, Merry Christmas everyone. I hope you found this encouraging. If you want to know more about this, I've put some links in the description, or you can check out these other videos that I've made about faith. See ya!